Hello there, Joseph Hennessy. I'm at County Point today, one of my usual spots, and it's too funny in the background there. I don't know if you can hear the kids or not, but they have a ping pong table and a foosball table, and I forget what they call that one with the checkers where you slide them up and down. But anyway, they're all made out of concrete. Kind of trippy, a foosball table made out of concrete. But anyway, there's some worthless information for the day. But if you have kids and you bring them to County Point, make sure you find this part of the park. They might enjoy it. But anyway, my mission is still the same. I'm looking for like-minded souls, starseeds, light workers, empaths, kind, caring, compassionate, spiritual human beings. They're just tired of the matrix and starting to see around them the shit show that makes no sense, because what you're seeing is the end of the movie, and it's getting funnier and funnier, and they're trying to make it more and more obvious to us by the messages that they speak or the way they act in videos or on the TV set or the messaging that they send us. Greenland has nothing to do with what the TV set tells you, because of the fake news is just a propaganda machine. I say that over and over again. They're supposed to be on nobody's side. I've never seen the TV set hate one president so much in my lifetime. And I state over and over and over again, I am not part of anybody's political party or organization. I'm on God's team. I don't see any difference in any of us. Today's Martin Luther King Day. Judge a man by the content of his character, not by the color of his skin. And what do? Push skin color instead of the content. There's good and bad in every race. So you have to make up your own mind, do your own critical thinking. Just broken thinking of seeing one race one way is not God's way. There's good and bad in everybody's color. God made us all, so we're all God's children. But anyway, getting back to Greenland, the acquisition of Greenland, what Donald Trump is actually doing is he's tearing down the old system, the old world system, the British system. People don't realize how much control they've had over the world for the last 400 or 500 years. They controlled North America. They actually still run the United States. If you do your own research and you go back to 1871, we were sold back to the crown by one of the presidents, whoever the president was at the time. They got rid of Abraham Lincoln a few years earlier. It was all part of their process. He was one of the presidents who was going to give the country back to the people. And they didn't like that. Just like John Kennedy Sr. talked about the deep state, the people who really run the governments, the people behind the scenes, the Vatican, London, the Rothschilds, George Soros, Bill Gates, all the people who run the World Economic Forum, which is meeting today in Davos, Switzerland. And guess what? Donald Trump is going there to read them the riot act. I can't wait to see what the fake news says about what he says. He pulled us out of 66 bullshit initiatives that all they do is cost us money, and the world is up in arms. Greenland is a very spiritual place. It has something to do with the ascension as well. But the Europeans are talking about they're ready to go to war with the United States over Greenland. Really? So you don't think you live in a matrix? All of a sudden England's going to turn on the United States and they think they're going to win a war with the United States? It's just all theater. This guy Mark Carney, who runs Canada, I didn't know he used to run one of the banks in England. He sat up there at the World Economic Forum and talked about the New World Order. And he drew it out just like that. because they're trying to tell you their game is up. Klaus Schwab, World Economic Forum was started in 1971 or 72 by Henry Kissinger. Evil, evil, evil man. Been in American politics. He was an old man when I was a little kid, so I'm not sure how he was able to stay so young for so long. But that's another story altogether in itself. Because everything on this planet is not what you get. What your eyeballs perceive is not the truth. There's a lot of deceptions, a lot of lies. It's a matrix. They keep us dumbed down, fed and entertained. So Trump is doing what he needs to do. Venezuela, the same thing. All he was doing was controlling the flow of oil going to the deep state in China and Russia. That's all that was about. The drugs as well, not the biggest part of it, but the guy, Maduro, is head of one of the biggest cartels in the world. He was a dictator. People in Venezuela have been freed. Slowly but surely, he's going to take care of all the problems. And everybody thinks that he's Bibi Netanyahu's bitch, and he's not. He took Palestine away from Israel because he's going to give it back to the true owners of that land, the Palestinians. It's a matrix. Keep them fed and entertained. That's what it's all about. I was talking to a guy this morning at the gym. I asked him, did he take the vaccine? He was so proud to have done so without doing the research or any homework. And you start giving them logical questions they can't answer, they usually just get upset. But he was trying to suck me into one party or the other, but I'm not part of the politics or the BS that's going on in the Matrix. I just watch it to observe it because I know what's truly going to happen. The Great Reset, the Great Awakening, the Apocalypse. The Hopi Indians that talk about this time, the 144,000 Rainbow Warriors. I'm a planter of seeds. I know people are saying a lot of the things that come out of my mouth are crazy, but that's okay. I shared over and over again everything I posted before I started speaking my truth on video. I posted on my Facebook page. You can go back to my posts on Facebook for the last 4 years. I predicted everything that was going to happen. It's not even that I predicted it, I was just giving the information because I did my own research. I don't listen to anybody telling me listen to science or don't do your own research, because as soon as you tell me that, I'm doing my own research. And I've always been that person. I was thinking this morning, when I was a kid, everybody used to ask me, why do you question everything? Because that's just how I was wired. So evidently I had some sense of something wasn't incorrect on this planet, and it's not. The way we live, the way we treat each other, the way we're treated. We're just slaves on a slave planet. It's broken. People want to fix the broken matrix. Like I was talking to the gentleman this morning, I said, the cops are revenue generators. I said, they do nothing for the people, and he wanted to run away from me because he said, I have family that are police. I didn't say the cops were bad. I said the institution of cops is bad because they're revenue generators. People try to personalize things that I say instead of listening to what I'm saying about the system. There's good people everywhere. There's bad people everywhere. You have to do your own judgment for yourself to decipher these things. But when I was a kid, police were a lot more kind. They didn't write you tickets. They gave you breaks. They didn't look like military men with all the weaponry that they carry around. It's just all part of the matrix. They're actually just prison guards controlling the inmates in the prison. You think you're free? I don't think we're free. They just give you the illusion of choice, but everything is owned and controlled by the same group of people. Doesn't matter where you go. So this is what this time is all about, the Great Awakening, where the meek shall take back what's ours. There's no reason for us not to be happy, joyous, and free. Too many people living on the street, too many sick people, too many wars, too many people struggling, too much hate, too much violence, too much racism as well. It needs to stop. We're all God's children. All the corruption is being brought out. Look what the liberals are doing. Donald Trump is trying to round up the worst of the worst in Minnesota. Somalians have committed the majority of the fraud in Minnesota, up to $8 billion. But if you say Somalian and you're white, you're a racist. So be it. Young lady told me the best answer: you can call me whatever you like, but I'm not a liar. I just speak what I see. You don't have to agree with it, but I'd be more than happy to sit down and have a chat with you, have a debate with you over a cup of coffee. All I want is what's good for Mother Gaia and her children. That's us. So we're going to win. Donald Trump has got a tough job. You got to understand something about that man. 2015, Democrat. 2016, Republican. All the people who loved him just turned on him. Common sense and critical thinking makes you ask why. He still has the same logic, thinking. Go back and listen to his speeches in the 70s and 80s and listen to people talking about him. Everything that the fake news says about him is just lies, made up. He's got a little bit of a loose mouth, but he's a New Yorker. He's a straight shooter. The American people put him in office all 3 terms because the 2020 election was stolen. That's all going to come out. But anyway, we need to just raise our frequency, send love and light to the people suffering for the greater good of the ascension process, the Great Awakening, the apocalypse. The apocalypse in the Bible is a good thing, not a bad thing. It just means we're just waking up and realizing that they just treat us like cattle, but no more. And stop taking vaccines. I keep telling people about if you took the vaccine, Dr. Peter McCullough had a detox. And I asked people a couple of days later, did they bother to even look online about what I was talking about, and they're saying no. I wish people would heed my advice about that. Just look into it, read about him, Dr. Peter McCullough. I didn't even take the vaccine, and I care more than it seems than most people who took it. But I will never forget what they did in 2020 in the following years. They wanted me locked up in camps because I wouldn't take an experimental vaccine. People were wishing death on me. If I was sick, I shouldn't be allowed in hospitals. And look what they did anyway. Old people, family members dying in a hospital by themselves. Arresting people for being in the ocean. My God, I'm not going to forget. I'm on a mission, but I'm starting to get on a tangent. But anyway, stay positive. The love and light wins. The darkness is losing. I can't wait to hear what Donald Trump says to the World Economic Forum, because he's just breaking down the old English system of corruption and thievery and possession of everything on this planet that is ours. So we're taking back what's ours. It's all about the children. Everybody have a great day. God bless.